Hi, this is Jen. I have a new journal to show you. This one is based on gardening, nature, fairies, all the good things that I love, and I just thought I would combine it all in one journal. The front cover I made to look like a garden gate, I hope. That's what it's supposed to be. And I've got some moss and oh, what's this stuff called? The Spanish moss, I guess. I got that. I used to live in New Orleans a long time ago, and I had some of that came off of the trees. It was just gorgeous down there. Anyway, that's another story. And so I put that on there to make it look like a garden wall or whatever. There's a key hole, a rusted hinge, and a rusted key. And then there's a little bit of a fence down here and some berries and various things like that. It's got 4 signatures in it. That's the spine right there. And the back has a pocket and some tags and stuff, which we'll go into later. It's closed with a just seam binding that I sewed underneath the first page. So it's like in the, in the actual book. This first page, we've got a big pocket, and here is, this says, we are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams. And down here it's got an XO, and those are made out of tile, like a tile with glossy accents on it. And here's a little tag that says a little bit of everything. And this is coffee dyed paper. I thought this paper was really pretty. It came in the mail addressed to my grandma, who's been gone for several years now. And it was just a little paper pad. So I coffee dyed it and put it in here. And over here we've got some pretty flowers. Sunflowers, and I don't know what those other ones are. And so that sticks in here, and here is an envelope that I made, and I just decoupaged part of a napkin on it. And inside there's a little booklet, and it says, I opened this book, and in I strode. Now no one can find me. And down here there's a little curtain that says, shh, I'm hiding. Because sometimes I think you just need to let yourself go. And things are so crazy in our world today. And, all the news practically is bad news. And I think we just need to get away from that for a while, however we can, and just try to relax our mind and refresh our soul and, lighten up our spirit. Anyway, here's another little envelope. I covered this with pattern paper. And inside, it says, in all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. Aristotle said that. And there's some Tim Holtz fabric down here with music notes on it. And a little tiny bird on a postcard. And you fold that back up and stick it back inside the envelope. And then it goes back inside this belly band. And this page has a little fairy on it. I thought she was so cute. And I went with yellows because she had yellow flowers and a yellow dress. And here's some little vintage buttons up here that I have on an old rusted pin. And in here is the middle of the signature, and I have an old rusted heart that I put there in the middle. And this is just a little pocket that I made. And there are a couple tags in here. This one has one of the little tiles at the bottom with a fairy on it. And it says, daffodils in springtime look like little cups of gold. Perhaps the fairies come and drink the raindrops that they hold. I was always fascinated with fairies and stuff like that when I was a kid. And I used to read books about them, and I don't know, they always spoke to me in some way, and I always wanted to believe that there really are fairies. And this is a tag of a rabbit, not my bunny, but a rabbit. And she's carrying a lovely hat. says, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And this is a burlap bird that I got at Hobby Lobby, I think. So those go in that tuck spot or pocket. And I've got some crochet stuff over here. And this page, here is a quilt with a denim heart sewn on it. And over here we have another tuck spot, and it's this little book, and inside there is this little ticket, and inside there's a pocket and a teeny tiny little envelope, and inside the little envelope is a little piece of paper. This one says be brave, and behind that there's this little one with a little flower on it, and this is just for all your journaling needs. So you can go ahead and, you know, write all of your secret stuff on there and then put it in this top secret envelope where no one will ever find it. So if you have private things that you need to get off your chest, this is where you should put them. And it goes back in there, and then it goes back in this little tuck spot here. And then you open this up. This is just some paper. This is a butterfly, and then instead of putting the body on, I used a rusted key and some crochet to make the body of the butterfly. And then this is a heart, and you open it up and it says from the heart, which is really profound, and just something a little different. And then there's some laces over here on the side. So that goes back in this tuck spot, I think. There we go. And there is another tuck spot here up in the front of that too. And this page, we have a little girl. I just love her face. I have her on a stamp. And there's some music paper and book paper. And you open this up, and there's Bunny. Hooray! He has saved the day. Everybody can be happy because Bunny is here. He sends love and hugs to all of you kind people that always mention him in the comments. And this is a little flap, I guess, and you pull that up and it says, there is a garden in every childhood, an enchanted place, where colors are brighter, the air softer, and the morning more fragrant than ever again. And down here is another little tile. It's got some little birds on it. And so you close that and close that little door. And this side also has a tip out or pull out or whatever, and it's an envelope, and inside the envelope, let's see here, we have this little booklet, and down here it says embrace the magic, and then here is a little tag with a butterfly on it, and those go down in this little pocket. Oh, and then over here we have a tag. I got these from Sue Olson's shop. It says, a petal that isn't torn, a rose without a thorn. Somewhere in fountain blue lies my secret garden. I think secret gardens and magic and fairies and all that stuff, there's just some pattern paper on the back of roses, is so enchanting. And you know, I used to always love that kind of stuff all my life, actually, and I still do. And I made a fairy garden. I've made several fairy gardens, actually, that I put outside in the springtime, and I don't know, they fascinate me. And here is a heart on this page, and you raise it up, and there's some little birds down there at the bottom, and at the top you have this little pocket, and we open it up, and it says, sun touches my face, the breeze so soft. In my garden, the world melts into nothingness, and my soul is restored. And I actually wrote that myself. I'm just multi-talented, I'll tell you what. So that goes in here. And then that flap comes down. And over here we have another pocket. And inside this pocket we have another tag that came from Sue's shop. It says, birds can fly because they have perfect faith. For to have faith is to have wings. J.M. Barrie said that. And this is an envelope with some napkin decoupage on it. And inside is paper. You can journal on the back. And on this side, I got this from Michelle Mulligan, and I thought it was so cool. It's like a fairy with, but it kind of looks like a butterfly, but then if you look at it closely, and she sprayed it with yellow. And anyway, I stamped other butterflies on here. And then this says, flutter by butterfly, floating flower in the sky. Kiss me with your petal wings, whisper secrets, tell of spring. And I don't know, just a little whimsical poem and piece of paper to lift your spirits a little. And that goes back in the pocket along with this tag. And then we have this page. And as I get to the backs of the books, it's kind of hard to hold. Here is a packet of forget-me-not flower seeds, so you can plant those in your real garden. And here's a tag that says make a wish. And here is a tag that says the earth laughs in flowers. And there's a little butterfly stamped on the back of that. This one goes in the front pocket, and this one goes in the back pocket. So there's actually two little pockets there. And there's some lace flowers down there. And here are some little, what did we call these? Doves. Doves, ta-da! And I put those on the strings from the signature. I got those from Jan Del Bone. I really like those. I thought those were really cool. And here is another little booklet. And there's a couple of women walking along. And there is a bird made out of dictionary paper. And there's just a little blurb from a poem. And then over here, there's a little tuck spot. And I made it look like an envelope, but it's not sewn together. And it says something. Remember that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. Sometimes I think we get caught up so much in the everyday minutia of the world and working and raising a family and cleaning house, and just there's so much. It's just overwhelming. And you know, we're tired and everything is just like, oh, I can't do one more thing. And I really think that we need to take time and take a slow, deep breath, have a cup of tea or a glass of wine, and just take yourself away to a different place. Here is a picture, well, it's a house I created, I guess. This is a chimney, and this is supposed to be some smoke coming out of the chimney. This is supposed to be the sun, which I started out with some fabric and some seam binding, and then I put a big vintage button on there from my grandma's button box. And in case you didn't realize this is a house, I put home on here. And down here, I took the edges of a playing card and I made a little tiny picket fence out of the sides of the cards. And I put some, actually this is trim that I got from Michelle Mulligan, and it looks like moss. So I made like a tree over here and made it look like some grass. And then I put a little picture of 3 people there that look like they could be living in this house. And this little tag says, home where life begins and love never ends. And there's a little heart on the back of the tag. And that slips right in there. And then we have another pocket over here. And it has some dictionary paper and some stamping. And there's a little fairy down there on it. And just some little crocheted stuff and lace. And then over here we have a little tag. It says, "Garden fairies come at dawn. Bless the flowers, then they're gone." And that's a little tiny tile that I made with a fairy sniffing the flowers. And here is a little envelope. And you open this up. And there's some different kinds of flowers. And it says, "Live gently on this earth." Because this is all we have. And if we don't take care of it, it's not going to last. And that goes back here inside the envelope. And I've lost my page. I think here it is. And that goes back inside this pocket. And then we go to the next page. And this is a stamp set I actually got from Donna Turner one time. And I love it. It's just bottles. And I stamped those on some tissue type paper. And then put down some cheesecloth and some dictionary paper. And just, you know. And then I left some room for journaling. And over here, this is a pocket with some birds on it. And inside here is a little pocket. It's got a bird and a heart and some paper on it. And it says, "In my heart," there on the top. And you pull, this is a picture out of that old photo album. It says "Favorite Tales," and I put a little flower there. And it says "Small Contributions." And inside here is a couple pieces of coffee dyed paper. It says, "She decided to free herself, dance into the wind, create a new language, and the birds fluttered around her, writing yes in the sky." And I just think that's a really cool image. You know, she's going to do something great, and they're saying, "Yes, yes, go for it. Do it." So I don't know. I thought that was cool. And that goes back in here. And down here on the tags for the signature, I got "Soar" written on this, and there's a little tiny flower on that side, and this one has a little tiny angel and just some, actually this is music paper on the back, and it says "Calmly Rest," which was part of the lyrics of the song. And I thought, boy, that's very appropriate, because I think we all need a rest. We need a break. And here is a picture of two mothers and two children. And I put, I colored that with Tim Holtz vintage markers or whatever. And they're really cool because they look very faded. I mean, you can wipe over them and the color, a lot of the color comes off, and it just leaves you with what looks like faded garments. And there's buttons and snaps and pins behind that. And then you open it up, and this is some crochet that was on a cloth, you know, like one of those things that you would put down on a tabletop or something. My grandma always used to use those. And in here's a little pocket, and it says, "A mother writes on the heart of her child what the world's rough hand cannot erase," because our kids need to be loved and to know that they are loved so that they can make it through this mess of a world that we're making. And again, there's Bunny. It's a win-win. I just can't believe it. Hi, Bunny. Say hi to your friends. He says hi. And sometimes he gets shy in a crowd. This is the back. It's got a big pocket for stuff. And there's some flowered fabric. And a lot of times with my fabrics, they're too bright. I mean, like, you know, so I turn them backwards and actually use the opposite side so that it looks more muted and older, not like a brand new fabric. And this is just a piece of trim, and this is just some cotton fabric. And this says, sweet dreams till sunbeams find you, sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me. That's the Mamas and the Papas song, which it's very hard for me to read that without actually singing the tune, because I love that song. And in here is another one of those pretty papers with just flowers and stuff on it, which is coffee dyed for all your journaling needs. And here is another envelope, which is decoupaged with a napkin. And inside here is a little tiny book. And there's a little angel over here, and it says, a sunbeam to warm you, a moonbeam to charm you, a sheltering angel so nothing can harm you. That's an old Irish blessing, and I just thought it was very sweet. I like that. So, put that in here, and that goes in this pocket along with this paper for journaling purposes. And then we are at the back. This is a pocket. It was actually a pillowcase and had crochet at the bottom and then cross stitch, you know, in here, or embroidery, I guess. And I took some red and white twine and I made X's all around the whole thing. And these are some vintage red buttons that came out of my grandma's button box. And inside here, I have some tags that came from Sue Olson's shop. And, you know, if you buy these tags, you know, you can just print them over and over again, which is very nice. I tied them all together on a little piece of some kind of twine. And this is just a picture of some birds. And this is just another one. This one says, the more civilized she became, the more she needed a forest wilderness, to which she may return to escape the husks of an artificial life. And that's the only quote I have on those. And this is a piece of paper. There's a little fairy that I stamped on here and some seam binding in purple. This says, fairies, come and take me with you, for I would ride with you upon the wind, run on top of the disheveled tide, and dance upon the mountains like a flame. William Butler Yeats said that in 1894. So if it's lasted this long, I guess it's still good enough to use. And here is a little paper I took. It's coffee dyed, and I had this little cutout thing. I think I got that from Jan Delbone. I don't remember exactly. And this, I just laid it over here and sprayed some coffee dye and also some purple spray over the front of it to make that. I thought that looked kind of cool. And inside it says, nature brings solace in all troubles. That was a quote from Anne Frank. And down here I put flowers, and then I used those little perfect pearls, and it made them like all shiny and stuff. I just like to do things that are a little different because, you know, you get tired of doing the same thing all the time. At least I do. So that's it. That's the end of the book. On the spine, I just put some trim, and this is a little, I don't know, a little metal trinket. It looks kind of like a sunshine to me. And so that's the book. It will be listed in my Etsy shop. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. I am going to do a giveaway soon for my 2,000 subs. But what I think I'm going to do is make a lot of little things, like maybe tags and envelopes. And I've already got this little tiny matchbox that I made, you know, with a little book inside. And I think I'm just going to make a lot of little tiny things like that and put them in you know, all together, and that's going to be my giveaway instead of doing a journal. So anyway, we will talk more about that in the future. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting me. Talk to you later. Bye. Bunny says bye.